is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr with Doris Burke on our sideline. For the Portland Trailblazers, they come in off a loss to the Nets. And that does your confidence guys no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
Well, their shots just were not dropping for them in that game. A cold shooting night, that's all you can say.
Well, the shot selection was a big part of it, Steve. I mean, they were taking terrible shots. It's not at all what you like to see from a team that should certainly be able to execute better.
Now courtesy of State Farm, Portland's starting five. Lillard and Batum, the backcourt duo. Aldridge out there with Hickson, and it's Matthews in at the small forward. And for the Celtics, Bradley and Pierce fill out the ring. Bass and KG, the big ticket, patrol the inside. And it's Rondo in at point. And so off the tip, it's Boston. Pass to Pierce. He's covered by Matthews. The jump hook, and Pierce finishes inside. Pierce has got the first points up on the board here for the Celtics.
You know, throughout the history of the NBA, the Celtics have been such a constant presence in the postseason that it's hard to imagine the playoffs without seeing the green. Every year the players change, but the Celtics' mystique is always in it, and that team is always hanging around.
And hard work on the boards, guys, leading to that putback.
Rondo with it. Lillard picks him up. Outside Rondo. Shoots over Lillard. Reverses. Shot misses. Aldridge with some nice D. Portland with the ball. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Guys, I caught up with Doc Rivers for a minute. Coach had no qualms with telling me that he wants to get into a defensive battle. He said, we know if the game slows down and points are tough to come by, we'll be at the advantage. That's the kind of game that we want to get into here because we feel we're better suited for it. We'll see if things shape up that way, gentlemen.
Thanks, Doris. And given the scoring talent on the floor, defensive mindedness definitely a key here, guys. Any thoughts?
Well, I agree, Kevin. Playing sound defense has to be their focus. If they can win the battle at that end of the floor, I think they've got a great chance to win.
Well, I agree, because if they don't do that, Steve, what happens at the other end isn't going to matter. It'll be futile.
Matthews working against Pierce. Matthews gets the screen from Hickson. And Matthews kicks to Batum. Shoots the three. It's rebounded by Bass. Well, it was the Boston Celtics winning their last game against the 76ers.
And what a terrific game for their role players, guys. They had players coming off the bench and chipping in offensively.
Yeah, and it was an unexpected boost, but a big one nonetheless. I mean, they didn't miss a beat. No matter what unit was on the floor, things were being done effectively. You know, the Portland Trailblazers nickname might conjure up thoughts of being a dominant road team. Not so. Outside of their home building last year, dreadful on the road.
And he can't get the first one. Well, Clark, to back you up, Portland on the road a year ago, you're right, 8-25 on the season, and it was a big reason why they just fell back in the pace to make the playoffs. They changed coaches, and Steve, there were a lot of issues up in Portland.
Yeah, they sort of fell apart after a quick start out of the blocks, Kevin, and you know that road record was the second worst in the West. Sacramento was the only team with a worse record. So tough year for the Blazers overall. You know, one thing you know about Bass is that he's going to knock some people around underneath. He's very strong. He's not real tall for a front court man, but he's strong and he's skilled as well. You know, he'll knock down shots, but he loves getting on the offensive glass.
Oh yeah, he'll make guys who have 4 or 5 inches on him look like a crash test dummy the way he throws them around. Bass is a big guy. He has no problem letting you know it. And you know what? His outside shot loosens up everything inside, spacing the floor beautifully for the Boston Celtics. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And it's Smith missing.
You know, typically, guys, he has the body control to finish when he's in that tight. I'm not sure what happened there.
Rondo with it, and Batum picks him up defensively. Rondo kicks to Pierce. Over Smith. Drops it in from 11 feet. 6 points for Paul Pierce.
The defense that time didn't do quite enough. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to stop him when he gets in tight.
And Matthews gets it to go.
Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
Outside Rondo. Pierce with a screen on Smith. Rondo kicks to Bradley. Over Smith. And Bradley gets it to go. Bradley's got his first 2 points of the night.
Soft defense right there. Way too soft.
So timeout called here, the first for Portland. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team. The 2K leaderboard provides us now with this list of last season's assist leaders. Number 1, Rajon Rondo.
Well, he was the top dime dropper in the league. I mean, he led the league in assists, and his vision and his willingness to give up the ball made him the top dime dropper.
The kick out to Matthews. Some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Smith kicks to Batum. Back to Smith. Just 5 on the clock. Matthews up top. Over Brandon. Outside Matthews. There's a screen. Smith outside. Back to Matthews. Takes the lead pass. And that one's good.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
The Trailblazers shooting their first free throw of the night.
And you take a look at the numbers, guys. They shot 80% from the free throw line as a team a year ago.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
And a whole new group out on the floor for the Celtics. Shot and game clock separated by 5.
What's Barbosa?
Barbosa passes to Wilcox. Backing him down. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it. Look to finish the play right there.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Well, and you know, you'll take what you can from him from the foul line. A season ago, he shot in that low 60% range.
And we saw it last year, guys, because those numbers were so low. Teams weren't afraid to put him on the line where points were hard to come by for him.
Trailblazers trail by 5. He kicks to Aldridge. He's against Green. Aldridge, no luck. Now here's Green. 8 points his last outing. Lets it go from the wing. And there's Jason Terry on the assist by Melo. Terry's got his first points in this one. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Your Celtics out in front, up by 7. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return.
Tune in next Sunday. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks take on LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Be there.
Double your money and make it stack.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. What do you guys think about the Celtics here in this one?
So difficult to get a shot off against this defense. They are really playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and they pride themselves on making it tough for their opponents.
Here are the 5 Portland has to start the second quarter. Aldridge out there at Jeffries. Then it's Elliott Williams. Then it's Damian Lillard. Pass to Aldridge. Ball stolen. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, Kevin Garnett seemed reinvigorated in last year's playoffs. Really played well. He said, I put a lot of work into my craft. I take it very seriously. I always have. It's almost like you guys are shocked. It does come off disrespectful at times. You have no idea what you're doing when you say those old comments. I don't read your columns, but it gets back to me. Guys, KG, always motivated.
And sometimes he takes that motivation from the doubters. A good way to motivate you. So, thanks, Doris.
A lot of miles between Portland and the East, about as far as you can get from the East Coast is Portland. You would think that with the way the Blazers have to travel, they would have a rough time against the East, but you know, that kind of works both ways, and they really held their own.
Well, by now, you know Terry's game. He's been doing it forever. He's a scorer through and through. Never shy looking for his shot. And his main weapon is that pull-up jump shot off of the dribble, particularly going right.
And that assuredness certainly extends to the big shot, Steve, and the big moments in the game. He's seen it all and knows what it takes.
So the Celtics call timeout.
Well, he looks like he wants to toy around with some of their sets and matchups here.
You know, I don't think you can afford to go through a whole game doing the same thing over and over, and you have to be able to adjust on the fly, just like he's doing here.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Kevin Garnett is checked in for Melo. Sullinger comes in for Chris Wilcox. Paul Pierce is checked in for Jeff Green. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Leandro Barbosa. The pass to Sullinger. Pierce gives him the lead pass. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Clark, you look at the geography of it. Really, Portland is the team most isolated out there in the Northwest, and when they play in the East at home or away, one team has logged a lot of miles, but sometimes that can serve as an advantage too, especially for the Blazers at home.
Well, and that can add up in a hurry when you go out on the road. Yeah, Portland's been great at home, but on the road in recent years it's been a little bit more of a struggle. All those miles start to add up, but in the end, look, you got to do it. I mean, you can't have any excuses about how far you're traveling.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Brandon Bass is checked in for Garnett. And it's Avery Bradley in for Jason Terry. And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
Since Boston's resurgence, they've always done a great job against the Western Conference. Having the depth and the talent they do gives you a chance to do that. But last year, it just wasn't the same.
Hickson with the bucket.
You have a nice high percentage look right there.
Yeah, Clark, you're right. They really struggled to get any real momentum when they faced off against the Western Conference. And Steve, they ended up with a 7-11 record against them.
Yeah, really a far cry from how they had done up until that point. But losing some of the guys they did made it hard for them to play the type of defense that let them dominate the Western Conference the year before.
And looking at J.J. Hickson, he spent 1 year at North Carolina State. You can really see how much muscle he's put on his frame since he came into the NBA. He's really filled out nicely, and he's got a pretty powerful body for a big guy.
Here's his shot is good. Trailblazers trail by 8. And Lillard kicks to Williams. The feed to Aldridge. Outside Matthews. Hickson sets the screen for Matthews. Leads him in there. Shot is blocked. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. Just 2 to shoot. Portland again missing.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
Bradley dishes to Green. There's the dish to Rondo. Pulls up. High post. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
And Hickson is a good rebounder, still learning how to maximize his talents, but he's a big, strong, athletic format. Got a lot of potential.
Lillard, the pass to Matthews. From past the arc. Rebound, Boston. Following this game, they'll hit the road to challenge the Pacers at Pacers Arena in Indianapolis. That one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, the Portland Trailblazers, a team that's gone through its share of turmoil, from front office turnover to injuries to their star players, but franchise big man LaMarcus Aldridge says that he loves the chemistry they have in the locker room, saying, quote, "There's no egos. Everyone just wants to win. And we have a bunch of guys who know their role, who are happy in their role. That's been hard in the past. We've had guys who wanted more, and that can mess up chemistry. I like this team a lot. We have great chemistry, get along well, and I feel we are going to win a lot of games, too. Kevin, we'll see."
A lot of talent, Doris. And they're keeping them all working together.
Well, it's hard to believe that we're at this point in the game, and he still hasn't registered a single point.
Rondo kicks to Terry. Back to Rondo. Celtics passing it around. That's a 2 from Lee. It's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo.
And he's most dangerous as a long-range shooter, someone who can do serious damage behind that three-point line. And we all know how important the three-point shot has become with every team because you've got to be able to space the floor and run your offense.
And offensively, you'll find him often lurking on those corners. Always a high percentage shot among three-pointers, and especially for him.
40 seconds left in the first half of basketball. He dishes it to Wilcox. Terry. Feeds it to Bass. Portland grabs the miss. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Pass to Barton. Dishes it to Matthews. Lillard. Here's the 3. No good. And so that's the end of the first half. Celtics lead by 12. We'll have the start of the third quarter for you shortly. But first, it's the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce.